Hello everybody, welcome back and thank you as always for watching. Last time out we looked at an introduction to scales and specifically the major and minor scales, and among several wrong notes I journeyed up and down the second string, the A string, and used the major and minor scale patterns to make the journey. We'll recap quickly on that. We played C major last time, stick with that now. I chose C major purely because if you refer back to your piano keyboard, it's the only major scale that uses all the white notes, doesn't use any black ones. I just thought it was easier for reference. So there is the bottom C, fret 3, second string, and there's the top C on the 15th fret, 12 frets apart. And we have to find another 6 notes using the scale pattern to get us from there to there. So in the major scale we have 2 whole tone gaps, a half tone, 3 full tone gaps, and a final half tone again, which went like C to D, 2 frets, 1 tone, D to E, 2 frets, 1 tone again, E to F, that's 1 fret, the half tone, then we've played the 3 full ones to get you up to the final B, and then the half tone from B to C to finish it off. But as I was saying last time out, and as you've just seen there, that's a really awkward way to play it. So let's go back to our fret theory from a few times ago, and we know that when we play C and D, frets 3 and 5, and we then went to 7 for the E, bring that rule of 5 frets in when you transfer up a string, knock it back 5 frets, which means that if the 7th fret is an E on the second string, then the 2nd fret on your 3rd string is also an E. So instead of going, we can go, and then carrying that on, we've played the 2 full tone gaps there going from C, D, E. Now we want a half tone gap from E to F, and then a full tone gap again from E to G. And then we could carry on up to fret 10 on the 3rd string, but again, knocking back the rule of 5s again, we can finish it off on the top string by playing the A, B and C up there. And what that means is, putting all that together, we've played the whole thing without your hand once moving from that place. So it's a much more efficient way. Instead of having to journey all the way up and down the board, it's a much more efficient way of doing it. Try and think of it as your 4 fingers covering a fret each. So one of my faults when I was talking about my technique faults when I was learning, one of my big faults has been that whenever I start playing something, my first note, I either hit it with my index finger or my 4th finger. Don't know why, just seemed the natural thing to do, to be honest. So when I worked out the scale pattern, did a bit of reading up about it, I was playing the first C with my index finger, and then going to my little finger for the D, and then up to index finger again for the next D. But what you can do instead is, if you start with your 2nd finger, middle finger, on the C, then you can think of your positioning of your fingers as being the scale pattern. So if you had your 1st string is played by 2nd and 4th fingers, Second string is played by 1, 2 and 4. And third string is played by 1, 3 and 4. And that is a much easier way to play the major scale. And in time, it'll mean that you can absolutely fly up and down the thing without your hand even having to move. And still, to be honest, sometimes it goes better than others. I'll give it a quick go here, but I'm not promising. Actually, it has gone worse than that in the past. Still working on that, but that is the theory of the major scale pattern. And if you apply that second, fourth, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4 principle, you can basically play the major scale of any letter anywhere on the board, as long as the strings are available to do it, of course. I don't know, let's pick a letter. D. D sharp, let's do something weird. So D sharp, maybe I'll start that on fret 6 of the second string. Exactly the same principle. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. And you've played the major scale. For the minor, it's exactly the same kind of thought processes. You just have to alter your fingering slightly. So let's recap on what we did with the minor. We've got one tonal progression to begin with. We were playing A minor first time because, again, that's all white keys, no black ones. So it was one full tone from A to B. There was another wrong note. Wasn't looking. So A to B, half tone from B to C. So it was one full tone, a half, 2 fulls, a half, and 2 fulls to finish off. But again, we've gone all the way from fret 0 to fret 12 to play the A minor scale, fitting those 6 other notes in between. And the minor scale pattern is actually even easier to learn than the major one because your fingering doesn't change at all. So I'm going to play A minor again. This time I'm going to knock it down to the bottom string and play A on the 5th fret of the E string, and we get the full tone by going from A to B, then the C, which is the 3rd fret, so on both your bottom 2 strings, its fingering is 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then 1, 3 to finish. And that's the minor scale pattern. And again, apply that any way you like on the board, and that will work. And scales therefore become a really good way. 2 things that you can use scales for, as well as understanding how a song fits together, which is really another chat sometime. Scales are great practice just for improving your technique, obviously learning where the board is as well. But as with anything in life that involves movement, we do it a whole load better if we've warmed up and practiced it before we actually do it for real. And playing the guitar is no different. It's going to be very hard to just pick up a guitar and play it really 100% efficiently without having warmed up and practiced first, so that your fingers are fluid and everything's just happening in sequence. And I find scales, and I've read an awful lot of professionals that say I got it off of them really, that scales are a wonderful way of just getting your hands working and warming up. That was even better than last time. So just use a few scales, not only to learn your way around the board, but also as a warm-up for your general proper playing. And it's helped me enormously. And what you'll also find is that that's what's called the major scale shape, or the minor scale shape, will help you out in when you're actually coming to playing songs, because the songs are based around those scales. And if you've got your hand in the position of the major scale shape, for example, so that you're ready to play frets 2 and 4 there, and then transfer up to 1 on the next string, that's more or less the position you'll find yourself playing an awful lot of songs in. So it's just great technique to get into using again. So that's all I want to say on that one, folks. I'll leave that one there, and do practice. And obviously, as always, remember your right hand technique as well, because as you transfer up the strings, you're moving your floating thumb with it as you're playing, so that you're muting down the strings with your right as you're playing up the thing. And when you can get to the top, practice coming back down again. And over time, you'll find yourself being able to build the speed of that up, and you'll just be flying up and down the thing. And just practice it with different notes as well. Just pick a note and practice it any way you like. So I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you, as always, for watching, everybody. Do please stay safe out there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.